If you like this video, please press the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel, and also give it a thumbs up. While viewing a total eclipse of the sun, do not look directly at the sun except during totality. Looking directly at the eclipse while part of the sun is visible will damage your eyes. Now, special glasses are one safe way to view a solar eclipse, but indirect viewers are the best and safest way to view an eclipse. In this video, I will show you how to construct 3 indirect viewers: a telescope solar projector, a pinhole solar projector, and binocular solar projector. A telescope solar projector involves lining up a telescope so as to use it to project an image of the sun onto a backdrop. If you're using a straight telescope, you will also need a shade of some sort to keep excess light from getting around the image. If your telescope isn't bent in it with a mirror, you do not need the shade, because you can turn the eyepiece in whatever direction necessary to get the best solar image. Now, you can buy these at a store, but you can also make them yourself. To do so, you'll need a piece of cardboard, some white paper, some tape, and a wire hanger.
In making a telescope solar projector, you take the cardboard and a sheet of paper and cut out a portion of it that you will use as your projection surface. If you have a straight line telescope, you can use the other half as a shade by cutting a hole in it the size of your telescope. However, to actually make the projection surface, you take a piece of, you put the paper on the cardboard and then secure it with tape. Any tape will do, but duct tape has the advantage of being the best. For starters, you just need to make 2 small slips. Unfortunately, tape sticking together is kind of an occupational hazard. It is tape after all. Then after that, what you do, after that you want to take a coat hanger and unwind it. Bend into a shape that'll fit your bend it to fit your screen. You need to be careful because you can cut yourself. You can cut yourself at this stage. Then you take some more tape. And tape your screen to the wire. This not only gives it rigidity, this not only makes it more rigid, but it gives it a mount. You can put it up. You want to put as much of it as possible on the back, as that will not only secure it better to the frame, but it also obscure as little of the surface as possible. Then one last little bit, even though it doesn't do a whole lot for holding it on. And you got your wireframe. And you have your screen. You also want to break off by moving it as much of some of the excess part of the metal of the hanger. Just moving it back and forth is enough to weaken it. But you want it about maybe an arm's length for
Here's a picture of the setup that I made. You can see the mount just off to the side of the eyepiece. Unfortunately, due to the difficulty in aiming the telescope at the sun and weather, I was unable to actually get a picture of the image. That is why I do not recommend using a telescope solar projector for viewing an eclipse. While you can get a very good image, it is hard to aim the telescope at the sun and keep it aimed at the sun. It's a good option if you have a star tracker on your telescope, but for one that requires manual adjustment, it is not a good idea. A pinhole solar projector is the easiest and most inexpensive viewing device to make. This is one of the reasons why it is so popular. Making a pinhole solar projector simply requires a box. We will be using a box from printer paper, some aluminum foil, and some tape. We will be using duct tape. You do not have to actually buy a whole box of printer paper to get one of these boxes. Most businesses throw them out on a regular basis, and if they had one available, they'd probably just give it to you.
To make a pinhole projector, you take a box. In this case, it's from copy paper or printer paper. To make a pinhole projector, you simply take a box, one made for printer paper or copy. To make a pinhole projector, you take a box, one from either copier paper or printer paper, works good, and you cut a slit down it. You want to clear out what you have inside there as much as possible. Then once you have the slit, you take a piece. Once you have the slit cut, you take a piece of aluminum foil. It doesn't have to be very big. Want to smooth it out and put over the slit. You then take some tape. That tape works really good. And use it to secure the foil to the box. Once you have the foil in place, you take a pen and poke a hole through it. I'll make sure you get a good round hole. You then take the paper and secure it in the box. And that's what you're going to project the image on. cut off part of it. Then take the lid and cut off part of it. Doesn't always work exactly right. Then you put it on your box. Use some duct tape to secure it. And then you can point at a light source, and if you get the right image, in this case I'm getting 3 spots of light, which I should be since I have 3 overhead bulbs.
Here's a picture of our finished pinhole solar projector. It's really quite simple and easy to use. Here is a picture of our pinhole solar projector from the top. Here is an image of the sun through this projector. Here's an even better image of the sun through this pinhole projector. It helps to test them out on a cloudy day so that you can see clouds in the image, letting you know that you got the projector working right. Here's one final image from our pinhole solar projector. This is probably the one you're most likely going to be making. The final viewer in this tutorial is a binocular solar projector. Now, while I use a real set of binoculars in this tutorial, you can use a toy set or even a toy telescope if they actually have lenses and work to a reasonable degree and can be focused. We first start with the same basic components and instructions for building a pinhole solar projector, although you do not need the aluminum foil. Instead of a pinhole, you cut a hole large enough to accommodate the lens of your binoculars and a slit on the top of the box to accommodate the other half of the binocular set. On the inside of the box, you need to include some reinforcement behind the lens hole in a place where the binoculars can be supported. This can be done with a small box. I also packed the lens hole with duct tape to produce a snug fit with the binoculars. Next, you mount the binoculars with one lens in the lens hole and the other lens on the slit at the top of the box. You then drape the strap through the slit over the top of the box. This way, the strap can be used to help support the binoculars and make fine adjustments if needed. Next, you place the lid on, but do not tape it because you may need to remove it to focus the binoculars. Here is the top of the projector showing the binocular lens and strap. Here is an image of the sun through the binocular solar projector. See how it is much bigger and clearer than that of the pinhole projector. This is an even better image of the sun through this projector. Before the eclipse, it is important to test your equipment to make sure it is working and make sure you are getting good resolution on your pictures. Furthermore, you need to test your setup to solve any problems while you can still solve them. And this is also an opportunity to develop any new skills you may need. Here's a picture of the sun through a cloud, taken by being reflected off of a tinted car window. This picture was also taken by being reflected off of a tinted car window. It shows the potential that a cell phone has of getting a good picture of a solar eclipse. Here's another one also taken by being reflected off of a car window. This shows the potential video quality you can get by using a reflection off of a tinted car window. Now it's time to get rid of any setup bugs. Figure out how you are going to set up your equipment and make sure you can get the shots you want to get.
Now, instead of a projector, so you can take photograph, you want to be able to prop it up on a box or some such thing, so that you're not having to hold it up continuously, and your hands can be free to actually be involved. But what you do is you move the box around, so you find the image of the sun. Then you take your secondary box, take your second box, and maneuver into the position where it'll pop up the other box. Then you can be in a good position.
Here's a better look at the initial setup of my binocular projector. Note the box supporting it. Here's the improved setup for my binocular projector. The camera is situated so that it can record video of the eclipse without being attended.
The light projector that uses a pinhole, you can get away with a smaller box. Just do the same thing. You find the sun's image and prop it up. And you're now hands-free. Now you'll have to move. You might have to move the box from time to time. Keep the sun in the image, but you can do that by also moving the box around. It's not that hard. Actually, with the smaller ones, you can use this for anything to prop it up. And here's a bottle of oil, motor oil. And there you go. You have a nice image of the sun at the bottom of the box. And it will stay put until the sun moves. And then you can just, and it will stay there until the sun moves to the point where the image moves off. So you can see it, but then you can always move the box to adjust it. It's pretty simple and straightforward.
Once you have your equipment set up for the test, it is time to take some test images. This is to make sure you are getting good quality images, because the time to find a problem is not the day of the eclipse, particularly when it is in progress. Here is one such test image taken through my binocular projector, simply using the camera on a cell phone. Here's yet another picture taken with a cell phone. In it, you can even see clouds. Here's a video also from the binocular projector. In preparing to view a solar eclipse, it is not only necessary to have the proper equipment, but to test it and your setup in advance. Testing equipment involves not only producing an image of the sun, but testing supports and photography methods. Making sure your equipment and photography methods work before the eclipse is critical to successful observation in photography. Most importantly, keep safe by not looking directly at the sun except during totality. This goes not only for your eyes, but for any cameras you have as well. Enjoy the eclipse safely and be prepared in advance to be safe and successful in your observation and photography.